Well, welcome again, everyone, to this edition of Morning Coffee at RVN TV. I'm Joe Osamendi, your host, and again, this is part of our series called the Expert Series, and it's produced by Workcred, and we have a great guest once again for this segment, and we're going to be joined by Roy Swift, who's Executive Director of Workcred, and also Boyd Worsham, who's the CEO and President of the National Center for Construction Education and Resource. Gentlemen, welcome to Morning Coffee. I'm really excited about talking about this today.
Hey, good morning, Joe. Pleasure to see you again. Roy, nice to see you.
Yes, I'm very excited about today. You know, one of the major initiatives in the nation right now is to build infrastructure. And our conversation today, I think, with an education and training as well as a certification credentialing body, that serves to build the quality of our workforce and building an infrastructure, I think is so important. And what we'll hear today is that there are so many pathways for people to have successful careers, but most of the time the general public is unaware of these valuable pathways that bring people that is in the non-degree world and not necessarily the degree world in this regard. So I'm very excited about this. Boyd, I'm just so happy to have you as a guest to inform the people of the many opportunities you provide.
Thank you, Roy. I look forward to the discussion.
Boyd, I'd like you to introduce my viewers to your credentials, because it's a great success story about you in the construction industry. So you going to go through your timeline of where you started and where you are now?
I'll be glad to, Joe. I love telling the story. Thank you for the opportunity. It's really a pretty simple story. I went through a carpentry program in my high school in Orange Park, Florida, that I went through for 3 years. So 10th, 11th, 12th grade carpentry program. My carpentry instructor was very influential in my life, a gentleman by the name of Hervey Robinson. And he came from the construction industry, moved into the classroom probably upon retirement, I would think, from his construction industry career. And he allowed 20 students into his program as juniors and 20 more as seniors. And we built portable classrooms for the county I live in and grew up in and still live in, Clay County, Florida. And Mr. Robinson was a very demanding but fair man who treated us all like professionals. From the day you walked in his class, you applied to get into his program, and you had to have good academic grades to get into his program. This was not, if you couldn't do something else, you went there. This was a sought after program to get into. And so we built the portable classrooms, as I said. And my senior year in that program, I won an award, the Gold Hammer Award, which I strived to win. Won that award. One of the guest speakers at the award ceremony was a gentleman by the name of Preston Haskell, who's the founder and at the time CEO, now of course retired out, but the founder of the Haskell Company based in Jacksonville, Florida. So Mr. Haskell asked me at the end of that award ceremony if I needed a job. I said, well, yeah, I'm about to graduate high school. Sure, all right. And of course, my parents were there. They're like, oh, yeah, he needs a job. The conversation that you would expect. And Mr. Haskell said, what job do you want? I said, yours. He said, come try. And I spent 38 years to the day there trying and got pretty close. But it was a phenomenal company, is a phenomenal company. Enjoyed every day of working there for 38 years and went from a carpenter helper to the vice president of field operations and oversaw 6 or 7 different budgetary units within the business, the business of the Haskell Company. Still well connected with the organization, and actually was spent a couple of days at a conference with the CEO from Haskell last week. So dear friends, great organization, would have never left other than to come to NCCER and try to make a difference on a larger scale. But the Haskell Company is a large design build contractor based out of Jacksonville, as I said. So my job was staffing all the projects that we got and making sure they got executed, making sure they had the material there, the people, all the other parts and pieces that go into building major construction projects. So wonderfully rewarding experience and career there. And also a pretty nice wealth generating opportunity for me. So I've lived that construction career, if you will, Roy, and really proud, and Joe, and really proud of that career.
Yeah.
Boyd,
This is a case study that really we need more of around the country to help young men and women to understand what is just available. We do a very bad job in general of helping people understand where they are, and this is one small way in which we do it today.
Joe, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you there, but let me just share something that's really interesting about Mr. Robinson's approach.
Mm-hmm.
So here we were, young kids, 17 to 19, I guess, at that, juniors and seniors in high school. He did not bring us in there and tell us he was just going to teach us to be a carpenter. His conversation with us was always around, I'm going to teach you the business of construction. And I want you to go out, do the best you can at it, but I want you to move into at least superintendent ranks, perhaps entrepreneur, own your own business, run a company. It was never the learning the skill and the craft of carpentry, which I am a carpenter, will always be a carpenter, and I'm really proud of that. I have an MBA, but most importantly, if I hung a single shingle out, it would be master carpenter, because quite frankly, I worked a lot harder at getting that than I did my degree. But the reality is that this man did not talk to us about the craft, if you will, as much as the fact that the craft was a step on the ladder to success in the construction industry. And I think that made a huge difference, because just about every student in my class graduating from that program went on to a leadership role in this industry. I mean, like 17 of 20 went on to leadership roles. So I want to make the point that we need to talk to students and young people about our industry in the form of the long-term goals and opportunities that they may have or can have, versus just become a carpenter, electrician, plumber, whatever, for the next 40 years. If they choose to do that, that's wonderful, because it's noble, wonderful work. But we want them to know that it's your undergraduate degree to the construction industry in many cases, if you leverage it properly.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Boyd, and Roy also, because people have a persona of the construction industry of somebody with a hard hat sitting there pounding nails or something, And there's so much more to add to that. And you're right. What a growth opportunity for a career for people to have. And I don't think people recognize that. So bringing that to the surface is really important.
No, I think that the career opportunities are so vast in our industry, Joe. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, there's 750,000 contractors in this country.
Wow.
Now that's totally inclusive, of the small 1 and 2 person shop up to the mega company. But every one of those still has a business operation that goes behind it. Every one of those organizations still has all those other duties and roles and responsibilities of any business. And so it's a wonderful business opportunity, and we need to think about construction in the form of the business of construction, right? Mm-hmm. Think about this. This has always intrigued me. Many times when you see a major project being built in a rural area, which is not unusual, especially with these big mega projects that have started all over the Southeast in the last, 2 or 3 years, many of them are in rural areas. And these are by far the largest revenue generating operations in those areas. So the people running those projects are putting work in place and revenue in place at a volume that's almost unheard of in some of these rural counties. I mean, these projects are, let's just say, a $4 billion project being built over 3 years. Obviously, you're putting in, $1.25 billion and 1.4 billion or so worth of work every year into that community. And that's permanent work that stays there and will generate revenue through its operations when the construction's complete. These are huge opportunities, and many of those opportunities can serve the local community in the way of construction projects that turn into maintenance projects, which, construction and maintenance of those facilities are intertwined pretty well. We've had programs focused just on industrial maintenance mechanic and other sorts of, maintenance roles, even here at NCCR to complement our construction, craft curriculum and offerings.
Boyd, you just reminded me that things like project management, financial management, building teams, building skills, these are the things that corporations, even outside of construction, say, if somebody's got those skills, we'll hire them. It might not even be in construction, but those type of project management, finance management, the problem solving skills and building skills of people. That's what the corporations in all industries are saying we need for these kinds of things.
Yeah. No, and you look at our industry, you have estimators, you have the engineering and architecture design side, you have the project management side, you have the field component with superintendent, assistant superintendents, foremen. It's all the way down to your craft people. It takes, Joe and Roy, I'd love to say, and this is absolutely the case, construction is the ultimate team sport, right? If you think about it, you go out there, a team of people put together literally millions of parts and pieces in the proper order to build a quality project safely and make money doing that. And those things have to happen for the organization to stay in business, right? And so it takes a team of dedicated, committed folks. But what a wonderful opportunity to really work together in a project setting to accomplish something big and deliver something that's been committed by an organization to an owner, to a purchaser. To me, it's just a phenomenally exciting and cool business that I think if we can get people to understand it and recognize it for what it is, that we could solve our recruiting issue. It's just people do not choose something they do not know, and if you aren't in this industry, it's really hard to understand it. You just know of it, right? You don't know it, you don't know about it, you know of it. And one of our goals here at NCCER is to create real awareness for new entrants coming in, as well as for the influencers who help those new entrants decide what moves to make and what decisions to make in their lives. Because this is an extremely rewarding field, and I'm the poster child for it. I'm the poster child that NCCR works with and knows that understand how rewarding and what great opportunity it is. Joe, I joke, when you get to my age now, you start getting these Social Security statements every year. Before, you got them like once a decade, right? I look at mine when it comes in, and I got to tell you guys, I'm pretty amazed. I have made a wonderful living out of this industry, and look, every day of it. It's different every day. It's exciting. It's fun. I love to travel when I did it for my company. But you know what? What was really fun is once I finished, I went to a new town. I might spend a year somewhere. Now, there's many great local jobs, and so you don't have to travel. But for me, I love to travel. And so I'd go, I was in Los Angeles at 19 years old, 20 years old, building a building there and spent a year there. Would come home every month or so and see my buddies and realize they were all sitting around talking about the same thing they were talking about when I was home last time. I had seen all these cool things. So for me, it's just been a wonderful life, and one that I want to share and make many hundreds of thousands of people aware of, because it offers a solution, and that solution is offered to everyone. It's an industry open to all, and that's what I think is so exciting and cool too. Is we need to be a more diverse industry, and the industry knows that. The industry is looking for women to come into our industry at a higher rate than they have in the past. We're looking to serve and support the underrepresented populations in our industry. I mean, it is truly an industry for all, and the industry is aware of that. So there is a large emphasis happening on how do we diversify our industry better and bring in and be more beneficial to a broader group of new entrants than we have in the past.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Boyd.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, Lloyd, I'm so glad you brought that up because there's such opportunities for women in construction. I don't think they notice that. So bringing that to the surface is very important. I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, yeah, and NCCER has generated a recent research report on women in construction that we sent out to approximately 1,000 of the top CEOs in the construction industry in this country. We had sponsorship from some major organizations who paid for that research and paid to distribute that research. But what we know, and what I truly know without any research, guys, is that these jobs are better jobs than many females have in the service industry. Wow. They're better paying, they're more rewarding, they have better promotional opportunities, they're really good jobs. We have to change, our industry has to change a tiny bit, but I think it's willing to do that. I know it is now. I met with 125 top CEOs of construction companies last week at their semi-annual meeting, and we talked about this. They want this too. They want to make sure that they can accommodate daycare, that they can accommodate a slightly different schedule for the single mom if they need to, or the mother, if, to make sure they can make the hours work. They are committed to doing the things that have prevented females from being as prevalent and possibly even as successful or retaining or being able to retain them in this industry. So we're going to see real gains there, guys. I mean, the industry's committed and realizes that those are the kind of concepts it's going to take to truly solve our shortage in our workforce shortage in our industry, which, by the way, is about 1.9 people short over the next 5 years.
Wow.
So it's a huge number.
Boyd, tell them a little bit about the range. I know you have like hundreds of things to offer, but the range of education, training, and certifications that NCCER offers.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Roy. I appreciate the opportunity to do that. There's this concept that construction education is not happening in this country. It is happening. Is it happening broadly enough? No. But NCCER, my vision and the vision of this organization is to improve lives through construction education. Pretty simple, right? I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to know that we have improved life for a diverse group of people in construction education. We do that through about 6,000 different delivery points. Okay, this isn't small potatoes here. A couple of thousand of those are high schools. Okay, delivered through K-12 system at the high school level, sponsored by industry at those schools, and industry or NCCER we connect them with industry and hand them off to industry. But so we do that. The other 4,000 are through contractors that have their own training program, contractor industry, construction industry associations, such as the Associated Builders and Contractors, Associated General Contractors, and others. Corrections. In the correction space, there are many good training programs that are helping those individuals to have meaningful employment upon release. Proprietary colleges. The community college system, Roy, as you well know, is in my opinion, one of the best delivery methods for this type of education in this country. And we're in about 500 of the 1,200 or so community colleges and always trying to gain some more ground there. And some within some universities. So it's happening. And the way NCCER does it is we offer about 45 different crafts that we have the curriculum for. NCCER does no training ourselves. We certify instructors, we accredit programs, we offer the training material, the curriculum, and the testing material. Pearson is our publishing partner for distribution of the curriculum. The testing systems are our in-house systems. And so we do it through that system. The other thing we have is project management curriculum, safety curriculum, and certifications, as well as something we're really excited about. Here in the last 2 weeks, we have launched our construction superintendent certification program. This is a big deal for us, and it's getting a lot of traction really quick, and we're really excited. It's been a passion of mine since I got to NCCER several years ago to truly have a credential for the construction superintendent. Every project has a project superintendent. Every subcontractor or specialty contractor has a superintendent assigned to the project. But there's never been any real formal credential for that, even though many of our building construction industry associations have credentials, and that have been around for a long time and are good material. We feel like ours is the ultimate experience in the business of construction for the superintendents. So that's rolled out a couple weeks ago with a soft launch, starting this week, 1st of November. We'll be hitting that really hard with a big rollout and a little more splash in the news media. But that's a program that we're really excited about, and that's an online, can be an online self-paced program. It can be with a group of cohorts within an organization. So it can be ran by a facilitator. We have we've established that program to work for all. I think, Roy, you know this really well, but one size fits all training is not going to solve the problem for any industry any longer. Right. We've got to have flexibility in how we deliver. We have to have flexibility in meeting the learner where they need to be met. And equally, we have to meet the employer where they need to be met, right? What do they need to be, to get their team of people working as expeditiously as they can and learning and knowing the things of the work that company will be doing. And so they want a very focused experience, and we're building some tools to provide that by mid-year next year that we're really excited about, but not quite ready to roll out today.
This is an example of teaching career pathways, not dead-end jobs, because now all of a sudden they have been able to show concretely through training and certifications how you can move upward to a very highly successful executive type job. And this is exactly what the Department of Labor, the Department of Education wants to see in these type of things. And so it is a terrific movement that is occurring.
Boyd, this is so interesting and everything, and I think people are really getting a great knowledge of not only the construction industry, but all the possibilities of a great career path. Can you take me through the process of, why is certification so important? What are the benefits, and how do people achieve it?
Well, certification has always been important, right? It's always been critical to document that you know what you've been taught, and that you can show and display that knowledge and show the proficiency that goes with that knowledge. It's also important because the learners want to be recognized for their educational experience and for what they've done. So for us, what makes NCCER somewhat unique, Joe, is that we not only do we have what we call knowledge verification. That's the written test, computer-based test, but that's the physical knowledge test. Then we also require a hands-on performance verification for everything at NCCER. So out of our 2,000 modules of craft curriculum, about 1,500 of those require a performance verification component that is done by a certified proctor or certified performance evaluator. I'm sorry, the proctor on the testing side, but on the performance, it's our evaluators. And they are, certified through NCCER to do proper evaluation of those skills. But transportability, stackability of different credentials is what's critical, right? And so one thing we are building is a program that will be a courses are curated by the employer based on the exact skills they need their employees to have, they need their team to possess. And then that credential will be a contractor-based credential that says these employees know and have been taught how to formally do the work we do at this organization. If those employees do, for some reason, move to another organization, those credentials still apply, but the other organization may need 2 or 3 other modules because they may do a little bit different work, right? Different type of construction, or self-perform different things. So we want to be able to make sure we merge all that together so that when you're working somewhere, it's obvious and documented that you are skilled in the work and you understand a formal education around the work that you will be doing. Now, the beauty of this program we're building now, or next, and we'll have out mid-year next year, is that if somebody wants to continue and take courses beyond just what their company mandates, they have that ability and option to do that. You know, it'll be a subscription model to the employer, and the employee can say, okay, I may not build a set of, elaborate or, stairs anytime soon, but I want to know how to do that. And they can go take that as well to continue their education and just become better and better. But like I said, we've always been a credentialing organization. We believe credentials matter. The construction industry has always believed credentials matter. In some forms, it's in a licensure, such as electrical, plumbing, HVAC. Many of those are licensed trades in just about every state, not all. But some trades are not licensed. And this is a way to document that you are proficient at it, that you are skilled, and that you have gone through a formal training program to make you the best you could possibly be at that skill. So we're real believers in credentials, as is the education system. And obviously, when you're delivering programs in the K through 12 space, especially, that credential really matters for funding purposes and many other reasons for the education system. So a lot of benefits to it, to credentialing and certifications, and we obviously have both.
Yeah, I think the credentialing is so important. It gives identity to the construction worker, the professionalism that they deserve, and being a professional in their particular trade. And most people do like to put initials after their name, see, I earned this, and especially those who have maybe not had all of the educational preparation that happens in some of the other things, but then they can say, I may not have this preparation, but look at what I've achieved. And here are some letters after my name that says that I'm an expert. I know what I'm doing. And that's the big thing employers say. Don't tell me what they know. Tell me what they can do.
Yeah.
Employers make a big difference between the know and the do.
Yeah.
Because you can know a lot, and if you can't do anything, we don't care how much they know.
Well, and that's why that's wwhy the performance verifications that we do are so important, right?
Yes,
absolutely. Know what we know, which is the standard way. Everybody loves the knowledge test, and that's good, and we feel like they're super critical and very important. But at the end of the day, the employer and I think the trainee wants to show what they know, and they want that verified through a performance verification process that has really turned out well for us. Let me add one thing, Roy. You said something really important, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to get there without your nudge there. We refer to the construction craft people as craft professionals. So I would ask that the viewers of this show, if you don't get anything else from this conversation, please coin that phrase, use that phrase, craft professional. They aren't necessarily, they aren't construction workers, they aren't tradespeople, technically they are, but they want to be known as a craft professional. And NCCER coined that about 15, 20 years ago. It's got a lot of traction, and you always hear us refer to those professionals as just that, as craft professionals. And, and one other thing I'd like to say, Roy, I know we're getting close to the end of our time here, and Joe, I'd like to make one other really important point. I came to NCCER because I know something that's really important. I know that the young people in this country, new entrants into our industry, whether they're female, regardless of ethnicity or anything else, male, female, doesn't matter. They need this industry as bad as this industry needs them. And that's why I came here. I left a wonderful job. Like I said, I love my former employer, loved the job. I'm one of those guys that I was meant to be a construction person. I knew it when I was a kid. I went on and found the great company. Everything has gone exactly the way it should have gone for me. But I needed this career. I needed this business, this industry. And there are millions of young people that need it as much as we need them. So it is a mutually beneficial opportunity. And I think that's really important, right? I think a lot of times in industry, we start to think, the tail wagging the dog, right? It's all about us getting the people in. But it's also about us helping people. It's about us bringing people to the right career where they can be successful, where they can have a kind of wonderful career that I've had for my 42. Well, let's see, yesterday would have been my 43rd anniversary at the Haskell Company. I left there 5 years ago yesterday, actually. But I had 38 years of wonderful experience, and I brought value to that company, and they brought value to me. And that's what I want to make sure, and this is what I talk to a lot of people about, is it's not a one-way deal. This is a mutually good opportunity for our industry to bring value to the communities in which we live and work, the people in those communities, and also for those people to bring value to the industry and the employers with whom they work. So, it's that improvement of everything through proper placement of folks based on their skills, aptitude, and interest. And so I think that's really powerful. It's not a one-way deal.
Yeah.
Boyd, you are such a great spokesman for the construction industry as a whole, and the importance of credentialing and certification, and the importance of an organization like NCCER. And one of the things I know that you had talked about before is you always say it's interesting that the building that you helped build, you're president in now, so that's really cool. And I think that and I'd really like you to look into the camera now and just tell people how they could reach you and who my viewers should call you.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I didn't hear your question well. I'm sorry. You've been busted up a little bit. Can you repeat that, please?
Sure. I'd said you're a great example and a spokesman for the construction industry and the ability for somebody to get a great career out of that, the opportunities that are available, the persona of being a professional, which is so important for people. And I think that's really important. People understand that about the whole industry. And the importance of credentialing and certifications, talking about the skill set that you really possess, rather than just a piece of paper that says what you can do. It shows you how you can do it. And that's really important. And also I'd mentioned the fact that I've seen you say before that the building that you're in, you helped build, and now you're president of the organization. I think that's really a great story. And I'd like you to look into the camera right now and tell my audience how they can reach the NCCER and who should call them.
Okay, well, thank you for that opportunity, Joe. Yeah, it is kind of ironic. I was the project executive on this building for NCCER when we built their headquarters here about 70, 80 miles from our headquarters in Jacksonville. And so now here I am, I occupy the corner office in this building. So it's kind of a small world, which it really is a small world, guys. Y'all know that, right? But yes, I'm very honored to do that. And what's really cool is I'm really proud of what we built. Now I'm the person that has to make sure I, work with my facilities people to maintain it and keep it as pretty and nice as it was originally built. So, and I'm really proud of the work that our teams at Haskell Company did on this project. But, NCCER, we're based in Alachua, Florida. We're affiliated with the University of Florida, but we have a national and even a global presence. So we are here to help any student, any educator, any contractor, anybody we can that needs to know more about the construction industry and wants to train, educate, recruit people into this industry. We have our BYF, Build Your Future initiative, which is byf.org, which is a great tool for awareness and sharing with young people and new entrants who are considering this industry to understand the industry. And we have many other resources. We have Career Starter, which is a program, a technology solution that connects people with jobs in the industry, free of cost to everybody. That is sponsored by Stanley Black & Decker, DeWalt, Procore, big software provider in the construction industry, Bechtel, the nation's largest construction firm, as well as Owens Corning. They pooled the money for us to build this Career Starter tool to connect new entrants with jobs in the industry. So NCCR has a large presence, a lot of resources, and we're here to serve the industry and the community. And so please, feel free to reach out to NCCER at nccr.org. or reach out to me, Boyd Worsham at NCCER.org, and I'll make sure we help you in whatever way we can. But most importantly, we are here to solve a problem, what I consider an industry crisis, and to work with the other organizations like our own to do that, and are just honored to be part of this industry and very appreciative of the time you've allowed me on your show today.
Well, Boyd, thank you so much for being here, and Roy, as usual, thank you and Workcred for giving us the opportunity to introduce my viewers to the importance of credentialing and certification and all the opportunities that it provides. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you both. Wonderful to spend some time with you. Have a great day, guys.
You too.
Yeah,
Okay, bye-bye.
bye.